ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯ ವಾಸುದೇವಾಯ ಹರೇ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನೆ ಪ್ರಣತ ಕ್ಲೇಶನಾಶಾಯ ಗೋವಿಂದಾಯ ನಮೋ ನಮಃ. ಅರ್ಥಿಕಲ್ಪಿತ ಕಲ್ಪೋಯಂ ಪ್ರತ್ಯರ್ಥಿಕ ಜಕೇಸರಿ ವ್ಯಾಸತೀರ್ಥ ಗುರು ಭೂಯಾತ್ ಅಸ್ಮದಿಷ್ಟಾರ್ಥ ಸಿದ್ಧಯೇ. ತಪಸ್ವಾಧ್ಯಾಯ ಶುಶ್ರೂಷಾ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪೂಜಾ ರತಂ ಮುನಿಂ ವಿಶ್ವೇಶಮಿಷ್ಟದಂ ವಂದೇ ಪರಿವ್ರಾಟ್ ಚಕ್ರವರ್ತಿನಂ. ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸದ್ಭಕ್ತರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೀರಾ ತಾಡಿಪತ್ರಿಯರವರು ಕಳೆದ ಎರಡು ವಾರಗಳಿಂದಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಹರಿಕಥಾಮೃತ ಸಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದರ ಹರಿಕಥಾಮೃತ ಸಾರವೇ ಅದು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳ ಸಾರ, ಅದರ ಒಂದು ಸಾರವನ್ನ ಬಹಳ ಸುಲಭವಾದ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಮನ ಮುಟ್ಟುವ ಹಾಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸಂದೇಶವನ್ನ, ಅದರ ಸಾರವನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೂರನೆಯ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಸಂವಾದ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೀರಾ ತಾಡಿಪತ್ರಿ ಅವರು ಜಗನ್ನಾಥ ದಾಸರು ಬರೆದಂತಹ ಏನೊಂದು ಹರಿಕಥಾಮೃತ ಸಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ತತ್ವ ಅನ್ನೋದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ಜಗನ್ನಾಥ ದಾಸರ ಆಂತರ್ಯವನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳ ಆಂತರ್ಯವನ್ನ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಡುವಂತವರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತು ಶ್ರೀಮಠದ ವತಿಯಿಂದಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಕೋರುತ್ತಾ ಅವರು ಈ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ತತ್ವದ ಚಿಂತನೆಯನ್ನ ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ.
ಜಯತಿ ಹರೇರಿಚಿಂತ್ಯ ಸರ್ವದೇವೈಕ್ಯ ವಂದ್ಯ ಪರಮಗುರುರಭೀಷ್ಟ ವಾಪ್ತಿದ ಸಜ್ಜನಾನಾಂ ನಿಖಿಲ ಗುಣಗಣಾರ್ನೋ ನಿತ್ಯ ನಿರ್ಮುಕ್ತ ದೋಷಃ ಸರಸಿಜನಯನೋಸೌ ಶ್ರೀಪತಿರ್ಮಾನದೋನಃ ಜೇತ್ಯಜೋ ಅಖಂಡ ಗುಣೋರ್ಮಂಡಲಃ ಸದೋದಿತೋ ಜ್ಞಾನಮರೀಚಿಮಾಲಿ ಸಭಕ್ತಹಾರ್ದೋಚ್ಯತಮೋ ನಿಹಂತ ವ್ಯಾಸಾವತಾರೋ ಹರಿರಾತ್ಮ ಭಾಸ್ಕರಃ ಜೇತ್ಯಜೋ ಅಕ್ಷೀರ ಸುಖಾತ್ಮ ಬಿಂಬ ಸ್ವೈಶ್ವರ್ಯ ಕಾಂತಿ ಪ್ರತತ ಸದೋದಿತಃ ಸ್ವಭಕ್ತ ಸಂತಾಪ ದುರಿಷ್ಟ ಹಂತ ರಾಮಾವತಾರೋ ಹರಿರೀಶ ಚಂದ್ರಮಃ ಜೈತ್ಯ ಸಂಖ್ಯೋರ್ ಬಲಾಂಬಪೂರೋ ಗುಣೋಚ್ಚ ರತ್ನಾಕರ ಆತ್ಮವೈಭವ ಸದಾ ಸದಾತ್ಮಜ್ಞ ನದೀಭಿರಾಪ್ಯಃ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾವತಾರೋ ಹರಿರೇಕ ಸಾಗರಃ ಯದಿತಂ ತವ ಭಕ್ತಾನಾಂ ಅಸ್ಮಾಕಂ ನೃಹರೆ ಹರೆ ತದಾಶು ಕಾರ್ಯಂ ಕಾರ್ಯಜ್ಞ ಪ್ರಳಯರ್ಕಾಯಿತ ಪ್ರಭ ಹರಿಕಥಾಮೃತ ಸಾರ ಗುರುಗಳ ಕರುಣದಿಂದ ಪಣಿತು ಪೇಳುವೆ ಪರಮ ಭಗವದ್ ಭಕ್ತರಿದನಾದರದಿ ಕೇಳುವುದು. Last time we saw how there is a Jada, there is a Jeeva, there is a Paramatma, is a triangle. Today we'll go into Lakshmi Tattva. So where exactly Lakshmi fits into this? It all depends on the context. Lakshmi is like Narayana. She is ever liberated. She has no bondage from beginningless time. Not only she pervades at all times, all places, she is even beyond time and space. She controls everything. She doesn't have any physical body. She doesn't even need, like Narayana, she doesn't even need a physical body to function. She is not dependent on that. And no matter or Jeeva can influence her. She is also called, in this sense, she is also called as Nara. We saw Nara as a complete jnana and complete ananda. She is like Narayana in that sense. In other sense, she is clubbed with the Jeeva. Why? Because there are two entities basically, like an independent, what we call Swatantra, and another is a dependent one. Lakshmi, even her very existence is dependent on God. So in that sense, sometimes we club her with the dependent Jeeva. We saw how Narayana creates, he is a creator, he is a sustenance and annihilation, how he does all the 8 vyaparas we saw. Narayana, what he does is, he has given a portfolio, we call it Abhimanitva. That means it's not like just giving. He pervades everywhere, and he is in Lakshmi as an Antaryami, and he does everything through Lakshmi. Not that he is dependent on Lakshmi. It is Lakshmi's nature to express her joy, her inner joy through that. So he has given her the portfolio, thereby she derives her inner innate happiness. What is this portfolio? The portfolio of Lakshmi is to control all the Jada Prakriti, what we call primordial matter. So she controls the primordial matter and also the Jeeva. She is called Jada Prakriti Abhimani and Chit Prakriti. Chit means the Jeeva. So she controls the Jeevas and the Jada. So both she controls. It's to give an example, we call it as a material cause, effective cause. For example, you want to make a pot. To make a pot, you need a mud. It's not enough if you have mud. You need a maker, a pot maker you need. So that Lakshmi's role is like this. Lakshmi and Narayana together will see it. So to make the pot is like all that you see in the entire universe and beyond what you see. So to make the pot, you need mud. Same way, to make everything that you see in the world, universe, you need a primordial matter that is called a material cause. So you need, it's not enough if you have a material, if you have the mud, you need a pot maker. So Narayana does it, what we call as effective cause. Nimitta Karana, Upadana Karana. That's a technical term, we use it. So she is the Nimitta Karana. She doesn't undergo any change. There's no change in Lakshmi. Like Narayana, her rupas, like you can call her Lakshmi, Sita, Rukmani, Satyabhama. So all her rupas, there is absolutely no internal difference in that. There is no change in her jnana. She is a nitya mukta, ever liberated soul. That means her jnana is constant. It's not like a million years back, Lakshmi had less jnana. Today she has more. Like that, there's no up or down, just like Narayana. Only thing is she is dependent on Narayana. So what does Lakshmi do? So we have to here know why we should know her and how to know her and know her as what and what we should pray for her. We even don't know what to ask, what to pray. So Dasaru explains all this in his second padya. So Narayana, what she does it in creation, there is this bonded jiva, not just the bonded jiva. We have the liberated jiva. We have the jivas that are going to come in future. So the jivas are infinite. The kala is infinite. Lakshmi is beyond all that. Now, for this verse, we'll focus on the present jiva, the bonded jiva. So what she does is, for the bonded jiva, she gives the physical form, what we call as the gross body. Without this gross body, we cannot do anything. We cannot talk, we cannot see, we cannot feel, we cannot do anything. So we need the physical gross body. So bringing together the bonded jiva in this universe with the physical form, it is called birth. The separation of the bonded jiva from this physical gross body is called death. So when the ultimate pralaya, we call the great deluge, what happens is this bonded jiva not only loses the physical gross body, underneath the physical gross body, there is an astral body that is also made of jada. That is also prakriti. It's not. It is not the jiva by itself. So both that, the gross physical body that you see and the astral body. The astral body is when somebody dies, we say that he goes to Swarga, Naraka, and all these sanchara, all this, it travels without a physical body. That is called an astral body. So during pralaya, the jiva loses even the astral body. Jiva means the bonded jiva loses the astral body, the physical body. So it is more than a death. The jiva cannot even function, do anything. So that situation is like as if the jiva is in a deep, deep sleep. It cannot do anything. Even then, there is time, there is space, and this jiva, the bonded jiva, the liberated jiva, the jivas that are yet to come, all these are there. and Lakshmi takes care of them even in Pralaya. Of course, Narayana is always there within her. So in this situation, see, as you can see, Lakshmi doesn't have or need a physical body. So there is no loss of physical or physical body for her. That means she does not have death. Like Narayana, because there is no death for her, there is no birth also for her. That's why we call her ever liberated. She doesn't have any of this dukkha. She never even has any taint of sorrow or change or anything. Dasara now explains the second padya, the situation. It says Jagadudarana. What is Jagadudarana means? It simply means the Lord who has the Paramatma, who has in his belly the entire Jagat. Jagat means both the Jada and all these Jivas. This the bonded Jiva, the liberated Jiva, the Jivas that are they are going to come in the future. So he has everything in his stomach. What does that mean? It simply means he is the abode, he is the ashraya, we call it. He is the abode rakshaka. Like how a pregnant mother takes care of her womb. It is very secure and safe. Similarly, Bhagavanta protects all the jivas, and also Jagat is the universe, and Jagat we also refers to the inhabitants of the Jagat. So he takes care, not just during Pralaya, he takes care at all times. So here Pralaya is mentioned. Why means all the jivas, everyone is, the bonded jivas are in deep, deep sleep. And the jivas that are going to come, of course, they are also in a very, very comatized state. And the liberated jiva, they are there in deep meditation. Their own self, they are there enjoying their inherent joy. So at that time, she says, Lakshmi is there at that time too, and she extols God. Why does she extol God? It is her nature to extol God. It is her swabhava, we call. It is her inherent nature. That's her expression. She doesn't get any joy. She is an expression of her joy. So how does she extol God? Because that's how we know about God. She says, Jagadudarana. And she says, Ati Vimala Guna Rupa. That is, we saw last time how any name stands just, it's not just the name, it defines a quality, and the quality has a form. Like we saw mother, name, and motherness is a quality, and the mother has a form. Same way, God has not just one name, Amma. He has Ananta names. Ananta names, all these Ananta names have Ananta qualities and Ananta form it has. And the beauty is, internally there is no internal difference. The Nama, Rupa, Guna, there's absolutely no difference. How to understand? They say it's achintya. It's beyond us even to think, possess such an entity. So she says, Vimala Guna. Vimala means, Mala means flaw. Vimala means flawless. What do you mean by flawless gunas, flawless rupas, flawless name? Means the flaw is always in the influence of or the contact of the jada. Jada is like, it's like dirt. So having contact with the jada is having flaw. So he doesn't have any flaw. That's why Mala Vimala. Vimala means without flaw. He has no prakritic body. We saw that he is Nara. He is complete Ananda, complete Jnana. So along with that, she says, Ati Vimala. She puts one more adjective. Ati. What does that mean? Ati here means there's a difference between God and Lakshmi. From the point of view of God, Lakshmi has also a flaw. From our point, no. From his point, there's a flaw. What is the flaw? We saw that she does not have, she is aswatantra. She is controlled. Controlled means for her very existence, she needs Narayana. So that is from God's perspective, it is a flaw. God doesn't even have, Bhagavanta doesn't even have that flaw. So she says, Ati Vimala Guna. Guna is the quality, name is also there, name, quality, Guna, Rupa. He has a form. So because God is infinite, she has to, even Lakshmi, we saw how Lakshmi pervades, not only pervades the time and space, she is above time and space. That means she's beyond time, means she does not have a past. We have a past, present, future. If you are above time, if you are beyond time, the past, present, future, they are all present only. There's no tense there. So everything is a direct perception. So she sees everything except God directly. She doesn't even have to think. But when it comes to God, He is infinite. So even Lakshmi has to think about God's Ananta Guna, Ananta Nama, Ananta Rupa. She has to think. So how does she do that? It says, Alochanadi, Bharat. What are all the Ananta? Ananta, infinite. Infinite, she cannot even know the infinite. If she knows infinite names of Bhagavanta, then Bhagavanta becomes finite. So even she doesn't know him fully. Only God knows him fully. So Lakshmi knows, what does she sing? What does she extol? He says, Nigama. Nigama means, Nigama is the eternal Veda. Eternal, we call Vedas are eternal because they are in the sound form. So it is what we call cosmic sound probably. Our throat produces in as a letters or words, it produces it, it converts the sound. So the eternal Vedas, they explain that what does Veda have? Veda extols in the sense, Veda talks about God's names, God's qualities, and his form. It talks about it. The form is not physical, of course. It talks about it. And Lakshmi thinks about all the names and forms, everything that is in the Veda. And Mahabharata. Why should we say Mahabharata? They say Mahabharata is a Panchama Veda. Whatever Veda has, the God's gunas, names, God knows even more than that. Paramatma knows even much more than that. And some of it, very tiny bit of it, he has told in Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is considered higher in this sense. It is considered higher than Vedas. So he says, whatever there is in the Vedas, whatever there is in the Mahabharata, and she surpasses, not just that, much more beyond Mahabharata, beyond Vedas, she extols the qualities of Bhagavanta. So not only that, she sees, it's not, God is not just a form or the quality or the name. He also does all the Vyapara. We saw the Ashta Vyapara. So all his kriyas, all his actions, she sees in a special way. She sees in a very unique way because he is Jnana Ananda. So it has to be very special, very different. She sees all that. So he says, Kriya Visheshagala. She sees, and any entity, she has been doing this how long? She is doing it from beginningless time, and there is no end. She will be doing all pervading Kala, Desha, she is doing it. So wouldn't she get bored doing the same thing? No, it says, because only a material object, it loses the attractiveness over a period of time. Whereas God is such an entity, it is very attractive. It is always fresh. It is always very handsome. That attractiveness, that quality is ever present and ever looks very, that's what they say, Bhage Bhagaya Nutana. Nutana means the freshness. It is not a boring entity. Even we experience when we go to Tirupati, we see Balaji. We want to see it all the time, right? If the Vigraha if the Jada Vigraha has such a power, God has kept that power in that. The God himself, that's why he says he's always fresh and handsome. He's very attractive. Says, Bage Bage Nutanava Kanuta. Here it says Nutanava Kanuta. Kanuta means what? She's not getting any new knowledge. She is seeing what is already she knows in her. She sees that. So it says Kanuta, because as I said, Lakshmi doesn't get her jnana. By seeing, she's not getting something, there is newness is there, something new. She is not getting any new jnana. So I said, Bage Bage, Nutanava Kanuta. What does she do? Nutana Kanuta, she extols, she is experiencing the joy within her, and the experience is enormous, countless, enormous, and it is inherent, it's not external, it is inherent in the very Jeeva Lakshmi. So enormous inherent joy. This joy is coming out in the form of the song. That's why it says, Mige Harshadin Hogali Higua. So she is extolling, and it comes so natural to her. So this is what it says, Mige Harshadin Hogali Higua. So what is it in it for us? So she is praising God during Pralaya at all times. So what is in it for us? So he says, Santais Anudinav, that is the prayer. Be pleased with us. What does it mean? Pleased with us is protect us, is the prarthana. You have all this, so knowing her, we go and ask her protection. Protection from what? So he says, Triguna Mani. We saw earlier how Narayana has given this quality in Lakshmi. She is the Abhimani for Jada Prakriti. We saw that. What is this Jada Prakriti? We say it's primordial matter. The primordial matter, though it is a Jada, it is an inert object, it has certain properties. Like, for example, let's take a crude example to drive home the point. There is the fan, there is the light. The fan has certain parts. So when current comes, when you turn on the light, current comes, it gives air. The light, it's also a Jada, the fluorescent light, a lamp, whatever. So it has certain properties. So when we switch on, turn on the light, what happens is it gives light. It doesn't give air. It doesn't do what a fan does. The fan doesn't do what the light does, the computer, so on you can go. Of course, somebody has put everything and it is all constructed, made up. Similarly, but in a different way, this primordial matter, inherently, it has a property. Nobody put that property into this primordial matter. It is there. Matter, we say that in science also, it is neither created nor destroyed. In its subtle form, it is not. It still stays. So it has its own. Anything has its own nature. We call the Jeeva nature. We talk. Same way, the Jada also, this primordial matter, it has its property. It is. We call it Sattva. You might have heard about it. Gita, Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, Gunatraya Vibhaga. The entire 27 verses, it talks about it. It just talks about the trigunas. So they Krishna says, Sattvam, Rajas, Tamaiti Gunaha, Prakriti Sambhavaha. So it says the Prakriti, the primordial matter has these components. Sattva, they are all very, very sukshma, what is very subtle. We cannot even see it even under zillion microscopes. So sattva, it has rajas, it has tamas. Three components it has. Together it has from beginningless time. That's the nature. So guna, they are called guna. That's why it is called triguna. So these three gunas are called as Prakriti. So Krishna says Prakriti has these gunas. So what does it do? As we see, like a fan or a light, on its own, it cannot do anything. There's a human construction. Here it's no construction, but human, he has to turn on the light, turn on, so then it does its work. Like, it's a very crude example. But Lakshmi, we saw, she is a controller. She is the Abhimani. The word Abhimani itself means that she has a controller. So Narayana is there, not from externally, internally. Antaryami, Narayana is there in Sattva, Raja, Tamo. They are Prakriti, and then the Prakriti by itself cannot function. So Lakshmi is there in three forms, Shri, Bhu, Durga. And inside, Narayana himself is there to do everything through Lakshmi. So what is the purpose of all that? For that, Krishna himself says, Nibadnanti Mahabhaho. He's addressing Arjuna. He says, what does Lakshmi do is, Lakshmi is using these Jada gunas. Guna also means like a rope, like a three rope. She just tying is she maintains bondage is there from beginningless time for the Jeeva. Lakshmi doesn't have that. Narayana doesn't, of course, have that. Lakshmi controls that. So Lakshmi, through this Sattva, Raja, Tamaguna, she controls. That's why it is called Trigunamani. So the prayer is because she is the controller. So what do these Trigunas do? 14th chapter Gita explains in great detail. So the gist is just the gist is given here. The Sattva Guna, it is very good. Sattva Guna is very good. It gives jnana. It gives the right knowledge, and from that knowledge-based happiness it gives all the good things and everything. So how does it cause a bondage? Because though it gives knowledge and knowledge-based sukha, it makes you forget about the giver, Lord. The person who has the knowledge, it's about Shastra Jnana. We can have the Jnana of Bhagavanta. And from the Jnana, by studying, we get happiness. But what is the point if we forget God and we think, from my intellect, I'm learning all this. I'm getting joy out of reading this Harikathamruta. Jnana is there, the joy is there, but I forget God. That is also a bondage that comes from Sattva Guna. So that binds us. And what is Rajoguna? Rajoguna, Krishna says in the 14th chapter itself, he says, Trishna Sangena Nibadnati. That means Trishna means the thirst. Thirst about the material objects. Not just the thirst. The thirst it is in us, right? We are not just happy seeing the objects. We want to own them. We desire, deep desire is, I should own this object. And then whatever, that is called Trishna, the thirst to own it. And once we own an object, any object, it's in our experience, we get very attached to that object. It can be an object, it can be a person. We get very attached. We get something, we get a child, we desire for a child, we have the child, it's my child, and we get extremely attached to this child. So this is the Rajoguna. This is karma. It binds you. It says karma sangena dehinam. Dehinam, it says it. This verse is like 14th chapter, 7th verse. Dehinam means the bonded jiva. The bonded jiva, it binds the bonded jiva in karma. Everything is karma, but basically the external, getting external thing, Trishna, and whatever you have, whatever you got, you get that. Sangha means the extreme attachment, which is detrimental to us. So that is the Rajoguna. What about the Tamoguna? Tamoguna is very obvious. Tamoguna is just all the negative things. It is like it is total ignorance about God. See, here there's a difference. In Sattva, Raja, Tamam, all the three, it is talking about with regard to God also. So the Tamo Guna, we say Duryodhana is a Tamo Guna he has, we say that. The Tamo Guna is like, it is with regard to God. With regard to God, there is total ignorance. There is perverted jnana, perverted knowledge about God, wrong knowledge, perverted knowledge, and also destructive. It causes pain, suffering to others. And even the person who gives that is not happy. That is the tamoguna. We are now talking about all the components of the Jada Prakriti. So with that, she binds the Jeeva. Here we have to note, we are talking about the Jada, the inert gunas, inert components of the Prakriti. Similarly, the Jeeva is different. The Jeeva is not a Jada, obviously. So Jeeva himself has inherent Sattva, Raja, Tamo. This set of Sattva, Raja, Tamo guna that a Jeeva has is different from what you see in Jada. To give a very crude example, we look ourselves, the Jeeva is in this Deha, we look ourselves in the mirror. What we see in the mirror is like a Jada, but what we are inside, it's a Jeeva. So there is a reflection. Similarly, the Jivas also have Sattva, Raja, Tama guna. And the Jada, here we are seeing the Jada guna. Here, first layer is Lakshmi controls, or she maintains the bondage by exhibiting these Sattva, Raja, Tamo guna all the time in this universe. For the bonded Jiva, she does that. And also she does the inner, the Jiva Swabhava, we call Jiva Swabhava, Jiva Swarupa, or Jiva, what is the inherent nature. So that's also Sattva, Raja, Tamoguna. They act like a catalyst. It acts and brings out that nature. So she controls. So the prarthana, so naturally the prayer, because she controls, we pray to her to protect us from these effects of the Prakriti. That is one part. And the second part is to release us from these gunas, the Jada gunas, and take us to Bhagavanta. So how does she do? She doesn't do directly to us. She does through the Guru Parampara, even a mother, through a mother. Mother is a Guru, father is a Guru, and who teaches the Shastra, he is a Guru. That Guru, we saw how he has a Parampara. The Parampara, we saw the Parampara ends in Veda Vyasa. So it goes like that. And Veda Vyasas, Bhagavantas, first student is Lakshmi. They have that relationship, student-taught relationship. Even there in eternal student-taught relationship, Veda Vyasa and Lakshmi Devi. That's why you see even in Upanishads, you might have seen that Taittiriya Upanishad and other Upanishads, you say that there's a prayer about Veda Vyasa, Samhita Pata, before they start, they pray Veda Vyasa and immediately they pray Lakshmi, because Veda Vyasa, or the Bhagavanta, Paramatma, he does through her. And not only all this, to do our sadhana, he gives us everything that we need, every material thing, every tool that we need to do the sadhana. So we pray even for our daily meal. She gives us, we call Anna Lakshmi, Santana Lakshmi, Sampat Lakshmi, Vidya Lakshmi. We see her different facets. She is not different though, from one rupa to another. So that's why the prarthana to Lakshmi, that's why he said, Santaisu Anudina, how you are a Trigunamani and you are Mahalakshmi. Another addressing her as Mahalakshmi. Lakshmi means the very name. It is also, you see, the very word Lakshmi. Every Harikathamruta Padya, if you take, there will be some words which refer to Vishnu Sahasranama. Vishnu Sahasranama words are there in Harikathamruta, plenty. And Vishnu Sahasranama is there, they call it as, it is inside, it's not external Rupa, somewhere Rupa we are praying. It is Vishnu Sahasranama, it is connected, each name, it is connected, it has a connection with our internal, we call it Nadi. It controls, it is, Bhagavanta is right here, we saw it's an Antaryami. So inside us, he controls. That's why whenever we have any issues, we get this, that, roga, whatever it is, they say, oh, you do Vishnu Sahasranama. So you think about God's names. We cannot think too many names. One or two maybe, with the name, the quality. Rupa is different for us. The Kriya, what is the Kriya we want? We don't want Kashta. We don't want all the negative things, all the Kashta, all the difficulties to remove us, to rescue us from the difficulties. So we pray that. So Lakshmi means she keeps her eyes on us. She keeps her eye on everything because she's all pervading. She keeps her eyes on everything. Like a mother, she protects us. That's why I said, you are a Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi, Santaisu Anudinavu. That is the prayer. So let's all pray. Lakshmi, Lakshmi Antargata Narayana Avarantaryam. Krishna Arpanamastu.
ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ನಿಮ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ನಿಮ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask.
ವಿಠೋಬಾಚಾರ್ಯ ನಿಮ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಅನೇಕ ತತ್ವಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ತತ್ವ ಬಹಳ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಗೊಂದಲ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಅನೇಕ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಒಂದೇ ನಿಮಿಷ ಪ್ರವೀಣ್.
ಇವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಇವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ.
ಅನೇಕ ತತ್ವಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ತತ್ವ ಒಂದು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಿರೂಪಣೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಆದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗೋ ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೀರಾ ತಾಡಿಪತ್ರಿ ಅವರು ನಿರೂಪಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 4-5 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗಳನ್ನ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೋತ್ತರಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಒಂದು, ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಭಗವಂತನ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುವಂಥವಳು, ಅವಳನ್ನ ನಿತ್ಯಾವಿಯೋಗಿನಿ ಅಂತಾನೆ ನಾವು ಅವಳನ್ನ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. ಇಂಥದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಭಗವಂತನ ಗುಣಗಳಾಗಲಿ, ಭಗವಂತನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವಗಳಾಗಲಿ ಅವಳಿಗೇನೆ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವಳಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಕೊರತೆನ ಅಥವಾ ಭಗವಂತನ ಹೆಚ್ಚುಗಾರಿಕೆನ ಅದು?
See, the question is, Lakshmi, by definition, she is all pervading and she is there with Bhagavanta all the time, all the places. With all that, being with the Lord, she hasn't understood him fully. She has understood him, but she hasn't understood him fully. Is it a drawback in Lakshmi, or it is the greatness of Narayana? It is the greatness of Narayana, because Narayana is Achintya Aprameya. So nobody can know him fully. Completely he is not known, but he is known to her. Whatever she needs, that much he is known to her. So that is also a credit. That's not even a drawback in Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the one soul who has known him. Whatever he has shown to her, she has known. Whatever he did not show, we call it Abhavarupa Ajnana, we put it for Lakshmi too. That's not a drawback. It says greatness of the Lord, and God did not show her the full thing. Whatever he has not shown, She does not know. That's what we call abhava. Her ajnana is totally different from us, because that is abhava rupa ajnana. We posit for Lakshmi. That's not her drawback. That's a greatness of Narayana, and it is the greatness of Lakshmi. Whatever he has shown, she knows it. She knows it. And the beauty is, even in one guna, like if you take Karuna of Narayana, we are also going to see next. Karuna of Narayana, she does not know that even completely. She does not know the Swatantra in that. If she knows completely one guna of Narayana is non-different. Karuna of Narayana is non-different from Jnana of Narayana. So if she knows one guna fully, she knows all his gunas. So what? The thing is, it's not so what. It is, God is like that. God is infinite. That's why she doesn't know even the one guna completely, because he didn't show her. So it is not a drawback in Lakshmi also. She is the one Jeeva who knows the maximum about Narayana.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಈ ಪದ್ಯದಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳುವಾಗೆ ದಾಸರು ಹರ್ಷದಮ್ಮಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಾರಿ ಭಗವಂತನ ಗುಣಗಳನ್ನ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಬಹಳ ನಿತ್ಯ ನೂತನವಾಗಿ ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾಳೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತನ್ನ ಗಂಡನ ಅಪಾರವಾದ ಅಚಿಂತ್ಯವಾದ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನ ಕಂಡು ಅವಳು ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ, ಅವಳಿಗದು ತನಗೆ ಇನ್ನು ಕಾಣದೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ, ತನಗೆ ಚಿಂತನೆಗೆ ನಿಲುಕದೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಗುಣಗಳು ಇವೆ, ಅದು ಕಾಣುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅವಳು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಸರದಲ್ಲಿರ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಹರ್ಷದಮ್ಮಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಆ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆ ಇದೆ ಅವಳಿಗೆ, ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಣಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಾಣ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವೇ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ಕೊರಗು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿದೆ. ಹೀಗಿರುವಾಗ ಹರ್ಷ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬಂತ ಅವಳಿಗೆ?
The question is, she knows that God is beyond her. So there should be a feeling that I have not known more. That feeling also should be there. That being the case, how can Dasaru say, Mige Harsha? It's not just Harsha. Harsha means exuberance. Exuberance. How can she have? She has not known him completely. How can she have the exuberance? That is her nature. Her nature is the way we define, the Shastra defines a mukta is, mukta never has that kind of a feeling. Mukta knows his limitation. In Laukika, in this world, we feel like that. We have to attain more. We have not attained. That feeling we have in this world. There, the mukta, he is complete, like a pot which is filled with water, doesn't have space for even one drop more. So Lakshmi has that feeling. The exuberance is an overflow of the things that she knows itself is overflowing. So that's why there is Harushad in that. Yeah, of course she knows, and she knows that is her innate nature. She cannot know. That's why sometimes it's a very tricky question also, because sometimes we posit Lajja in Lakshmi. That means she is somewhat shy. Why she is shy means, I don't know God completely. That shyness sometimes we mention, but even that is not like a drawback, because she knows her yogyata. She is happy because it's so much she knows, and thinking of God itself makes her so happy. That is what is the mukta sthiti. Feeling happy, there's no iota of sorrow for a mukta, and she is a nitya mukta. So she is also full of, that's why we call her Nara. Sometimes we call Narayani also we call. So she is full of, complete with joy, complete with knowledge. So that's why it's the Harsha pada is used. Mige Harsha.
ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಉತ್ತರವನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನಾನು ಕೇಳಬೇಕು, ಭಗವಂತನ ಅಧೀನಳಾಗಿ ಅವಳು ಅಸ್ವತಂತ್ರಳಾಗಿಯೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಗವಂತನ ಅಧೀನಳಾಗಿ ಅವಳು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಮತ್ತು ಅಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ತತ್ವ ಅಂತ. ಭಗವಂತ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ತತ್ವ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾನೆ, ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ದೇವಿ ಭಗವಂತನ ಅಧೀನವಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಸ್ವತಂತ್ರವೇ ಅಂತ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಇದಿದೆ. ಇವಳು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ದೇವಿ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಭಗವಂತನ ಅಧೀನವಾಗಿ ಅವಳು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ ಸರಿ, ಭಗವಂತನು ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರವಾಗಿ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಎಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪವೋ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧವೋ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿಯೇ ಅವನು ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ, ಇವರಿಗೂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಗವಂತನಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ದೇವಿಗೂ ಅವರ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರತೆಗೆ ಏನು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ?
Yeah, the question is, we see that Lakshmi is aswatantra. We perceive that she does not have the freedom and she's controlled by God. And how about God himself? We call him Swatantra. He is free. He is independent. But if you look into Shastra, it doesn't appear like that. For example, my karma, my swabhava, accordingly he does it. So what Swatantra he has? It appears he also doesn't have Swatantra. That being the case, why there is a difference? Why should we even say Lakshmi is inferior, he is superior? Why should we even say that? Even he appears to be Aswatantra only because he has to do as per our karma. The answer is this. Everything is, our karma is jada. Then we say it's not our karma. The karma is according to our prayatna. The prayatna is two kinds. Prayatna is jada is there. Prayatna is the Jeeva. The life force only will have prayatna, right? That is, even for that, to do the prayatna, he needs God. Like a fan, it needs current and the person who turns on the switch. So even the Jeeva, it has the property. It's different from the Jada in the sense, the Jada doesn't have anything. Jeeva has the desire. Jeeva has the jnana. Jeeva can act the karma. He can do the karma. And he has the anubhava. Though these ingredients are there in Jeeva, Jeeva cannot function without God. So the question here is, God has to do according to the Jeeva. No need. That is, in this world, it is like that. I worked 30 days and my boss has to pay. But with that, with God and the world, Jeeva, there is no contract. There is no need. No need for him. No need for him. He is Swatantra, means kartrum, akartum, anyata akartum. Swatantra here means to do, to not to do differently. He has a complete freedom. There's no need for him to even create the world, and we cannot. We are all comatized states. There's no way we can even ask. Even if Lakshmi asks, he doesn't have to do it. There is nothing. There is nothing in it for him. So why should he do? There's no need. He is not getting any joy. There is nothing in it for him. Even though there is absolutely nothing in it for him, he does it for us. Without him, tena vina trunamapi chalati. He doesn't have to do, but he does it. Only when he gives, he doesn't even give us this, give us the Shakti. He himself has to. Jeeva's situation is he himself. When we see a mirror, when we lift our hand, the mirror also we see our reflection. It's not like that. He has to be in that reflection too, and he has to lift the hand, like he has to give the Shakti. So the Jeeva is, that is the Paratantra, that is the nature of Paratantra, is completely under the control. So God needn't have to do anything, but still he does. So the Swatantra is complete. Kartum, akartum, anyata akartum, Swatantra. He does even for Lakshmi. So there is a vast difference between Lakshmi and Narayana, and he has the Swatantra over us all the time, even in moksha.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಈಗ ದಾಸರು ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಜಗದುದರನ ಅತಿ ವಿಮಲ ಗುಣ ರೂಪಗಳ ಆಲೋಚನದಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಭಗವಂತನ ಗುಣಕ್ಕೂ ಭಗವಂತನ ರೂಪಕ್ಕೂ ಭೇದವನ್ನ ಎಣಿಸಬಾರದು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಇದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೊಂದಿಸ್ಬೇಕು? ನಾವು ಗುಣ ರೂಪಗಳ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕವಾಗಿ ದಾಸರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಭೇದವನ್ನ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರದಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ.
Yes. The question is, when we posit the God, the concept of God, we say that, we always say that God's rupa, that God's form, God's qualities, God's kriya, that's God's work, and God's name. They are all non-different. They are same. If you say Narasimha, if you say Vedavyasa, if you say Rama, Krishna, they are all same. And the qualities are same. The names are same. Their kriyas are also same. Everything we say is same. We should not even see internal difference in Narayana or even Lakshmi. We should not say. That being the case, here Dasru says Guna, Rupa, Kriya, Nama. He is talking as if Guna is different, Rupa is different, the Kriya is different. He is showing us the internal difference, how correct it is. The reason for that is it's our limitation. It is similar like saying sweetness of sugar. We say that, right? Sweetness of sugar. Sugar is sweet. Sugar is non-different from sweet. Any portion of any crystal of sugar you take, it is sweet. But we say sweetness of sugar. Sugar is sweet, as if they are different. Sweet is different, sugar is different. Why are we using even in our own vocabulary? Why are we using those sentences? Because it is what Acharya has explained this in Gita, in 11th Adhyaya Gita, in Tatparya, he has explained this. Vishesha. That means, though there is no difference, internal difference, we speak as if there is a difference to understand. It's our limitation. Because of our limitation, we say, because it's very difficult to understand a non-matter. So in that non-matter, we have to keep a name, we have to attribute a guna, we have to attribute a kriya. Everything you have to, how to talk about it. Everything is same, everything is same, everything is same. Narasimha is same as Rama, Rama is same like Rama is same like Krishna. So Rama's wife is Rukmani. We can say that, right? But we don't say it because in a particular way he does, though he is complete, no internal difference. We speak as if it is when there is no bheda, when there is no difference, speaking as if they are different to highlight, to learn more about that entity. Like sugar is sweet, milk is white, whiteness of milk. We speak like that. Same way, got to understand more from our perspective, our limitation. We talk like that because we have a name that's different. Somebody calls me mother, somebody calls me Ajji, somebody calls me auntie. We do that. We have those qualities are there, but the person, I'm just the same. But the names may change sometimes. But in God, there is even that difference he doesn't have, but we speak as if they are different to understand better.
ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ ಮತ್ತೇನಾದರೂ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಆಚಾರ್ಯ, ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು, ಈ ಸತ್ವಗುಣ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಟು ಸಾಧಾರಣ ಮನುಷ್ಯಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ 32nd ಕಕ್ಷಾ, ಆರ್ 3 ಗುಣಾಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಟು ಎವ್ರಿವನ್ ಅಟ್ ಈಚ್ ಕಕ್ಷಾ?
The three, I think she's referring to the Jada Sattva Raja Tamaguna. The Jada Sattva Raja Tamaguna applies to all, to everyone. It applies except some any good deeds. For example, you have some, you do good deeds. That is from Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna is responsible. You talk sweetly, even that is Sattva. That is, I'm talking about the Jada Sattva Guna. Jada Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, in one day we can see it. We talk nicely, we wish well for others. That is the Sattva Guna. And we get some jnana, knowledge. That is some Sattva Guna only it comes. Again, there is a difference like Sukshma, Sthula about God is Sukshma. about worldly affairs, it is called stula. But in general, the Sattva-guna is there across the body. It is there for all the kakshas that she mentioned. They are all inherently sattvika jivas. It's not a jada one. Inherently sattvika jiva. Of course they have, but it varies. In sadhana, it varies. It keeps varying. People do have it. The Sattva-guna works. Sattva-guna works. Rajoguna works. The Tamoguna works for all of us. The Jada Guna, they are like a catalyst.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. There's one more question, a kind of follow-up question on this. Jada has 3 gunas and Jeeva has 3 gunas. Kindly advise what we should pray Mahalakshmi, whether to get rid of only 3 gunas in us or 3 gunas in Jada affecting us.
Good question. The gunas inside us, the swabhavika guna, each jiva again is a mixture. Each jiva, it has sattva, raja, tamo guna is there. It is a non-matter. The jiva swarupa, we call it. It's non-different from jiva. It is there, but one guna is dominant. What is like we say milk and water, we say it's milk. So water is there, it is there. So that is the swabhava, that is the very nature. It's like mangoness. In a mango, you cannot separate it. Remove the mangoness from mango, we cannot. Neemness from neem, you cannot separate it. What we are asking God is the external, the prakriti, jada prakriti, the external jada prakriti, like a catalyst, affecting us, the prabhava we got, it's not a swabhava, the prabhava, our surroundings, they should not influence, no matter where we are put, it should not affect us. The external influence should not change us, should not affect us. That's what we are praying. Jada Prakriti Abhimani, that we are basically praying. So it helps our sadhana because inherently we are more of sweetness. When there is no, like a mango plant, if it has like a disease or something from external, it affects it. So it should not affect. That's the prayer, so that the jiva can blossom. Internally, even God doesn't change the nature. That's the greatest gift. He doesn't change. He is a preserver. That's why Jagadudarana, even at that time, even during Pralaya, he just preserves the jivatva, the inherent nature of a jiva. It's the external prabhava. It is, we have to pray. The company, what we call the friend circle, the influence. That's what we pray.
Yeah, thanks for that, ma'am. There's one more question. Lakshmi is different from Narayana from his nature because God is self-dependent. Did you mean this? That's what.
Yeah, see, we have one thing. We saw Jeeva Bheda, Jeeva Ishvara Bheda, and Jeeva Jada Bheda, Ishvara Jada. We saw that. So the existence, the difference between Lakshmi and Narayana, it's not just dependent, independent. It is in existence. They are eternal, but they are different. With the existence also we talk about it. If there are 2 cows, one cow, both are cows. With one cow dies, another cow is there. So it's about existence also we talk. So existence, Jeeva, Ishvara, they are different existence. And one is a dependent, one is an independent. Controller, controlled. That also is there. There are several things out there. Mainly we talk about like a 1 and a 0. We talk like that.
Okay. Thanks for that. And there's one more question. Jada Sattva Rajo Tamo Guna versus Jeeva Sattva Tamo Guna. What is the difference?
Jeeva Sattva is, the Jeeva also, the name is the same, Sattva Raja Tama. The name is the same. It's for Jada also, for Jeeva. The big difference is when it comes to Jeeva, it is non-matter. It is non-matter. It is its own nature, like a mangoness. The mangoness, you can have a wax mango. You can have the mangoness in a mango. It is that which makes the Jeeva. The Jivanas is non-different. The Sattva, basically it has Sattva, Rajatama, it has everything, but Sattva dominates. We are Sattvika, means Sattva nature dominates. The other two are very dormant in moksha. So the domination of the Jiva, this is the inherent quality of the non-changing quality of the Jiva. The Jada is the external. It has an effect, like how we keep an iron, and when there is a water, it gets rust, right? Like that. So it causes the external thing, makes changes to this bonded Jiva only. Moksha is the bondage is cut. Even though Jada is there, it doesn't act on this Jiva. The influence is removed, no destruction. The bondage, the connection is removed. So the Jada, Sattva, Raja, Guna doesn't affect on the Jiva. So they are different.
Okay, thanks a lot. I think we have few more questions, but I think we have already, it's already 8, so we can take it up. Yeah, in the next session.
Yeah.
Acharya Vittabacharya, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬೇರೆ question ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇತ್ತಾ ನಿಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ?
One more thing I like to add is this Sattva, Raja, Tamo, Guna is a very, very exhaustive topic. I tried to give a glimpse. Questions will be there. People are sure to ask questions, and we will try to address it is either in the WhatsApp group or here, whichever way the technical team wants it, we can do that.
Sure, ma'am. Probably we can.
ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಉತ್ತರವನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದು ಅದೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು.
ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ನ ಇದ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು.
ಹರೇ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು 2 ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಹರೇ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ, ಅದೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಸರಿಯಾಗೇ ಇದೆ. ಹೇಳಿದಂತೆ ಗುಣಗಳದು ತುಂಬಾ ವಿಚಾರ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ನಾನು ಅದು ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಮಿಗೆ ಹರುಷದಿಂ ಪೊಗಳಿ ಹಿಗ್ಗುವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದು ಭಕ್ತಿಯ ಲಕ್ಷಣ. Lakshmi Devi, I'm sorry, I'm going to end in English. So we talked about Mige Harushadim Pogali Higuva. How come the Lakshmi, even though she does not know Narayana completely, even though she stays with him as Nitya Aviyogini, how come she is very happy about it? That's a Bhakti Lakshana. Mahatmya Jnana Purvakaha Sudrudaha Sarvatodhika Sneho Bhakti Ritu. So the Bhakta will feel extremely excited even though he does not know about the Mahatmya Jnana completely. That is the great. So that means he say, oh, the God is so great that I do not know completely. So even the Bhaktas, the Mukta Jivas also, they know Paramatma very little. I mean, but still they are, whatever they know, they are excited about it, because that awareness of Mahatmya Jnana of Paramatma, that he is extraordinarily great, that awareness itself gives a joy to them. Same way for Lakshmi, though she is greater than all the rest of the Jivas, she knows more than every other Jiva, still she doesn't know completely. That makes her wonder. That's why Nitya Nutanama Kanata. So how come I know so much and still I do not know about him completely? That makes her happy, because that is the Bhakti Lakshana. Bhakti Lakshana, the characteristic of Bhakti is such. That's why she knows that. So that I wanted to just mention that. So everything else is fine. Hare Srinivasa.
Thanks for pitching in, sir. Vittabacharya, ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟ್ಸ್ಆಪ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ
ವಾಟ್ಸ್ಆಪ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಏನ್ ತೊಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಹೌದು,
ಅಂತೂ ಒಂದ್ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ತತ್ವದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸುಗಳು ಇಷ್ಟು ಆಸಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿರೋದು ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಯಶಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಭಾವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗಿದ್ದು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ತತ್ವದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೀರಾ ತಾಡಿಪತ್ರಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಠದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅನೇಕ ಭಕ್ತಾಭಿಮಾನಿಗಳ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅನಂತ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಸಮರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಂಗಳವನ್ನು ಹಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಶ್ರೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣ.